Hey awesome friends, I am Awesome Danny, and these are the Rikubuds Saber 3s. Another flathead. Feels like we haven't done a flathead in a while, and I actually have a few back there. I should really get on it. For those of you guys that haven't seen yet, I got this recently and I'm using it to organize the stuff I have in for review. That shelf is the stuff I've yet to review, I think. Or yeah, Nova I still have to review too. I don't know. I have a lot of stuff. If somebody wants to come down here, help me out, I'll pay you in sunny scratches or something. So anyways, Rikubud Saber 3s. It's actually a pretty good set. I like it overall. It might be one of my top Rikubuds, but I do have some nitpicks with it, and I'll go over that. But first, let's go over what you actually get. You get the traditional Rikubud case with his branding on it, as expected. This is, I'm not sure if he's ever gonna change this. I wouldn't at this point, because it's synonymous with this brand. You get the little nice plain black case with this logo on there. Maybe if he goes into something more premium, I would expect something nicer, but for now this is expected, and it works. It does its job. I carry the buds in the case. It came with 3 different types of foams, same as his other Gen 3 model. You have the high density foam, the medium density, and the low density. For this review, I'm going to be talking about the high density foams. That's how he sent it out, and I believe that's the intended tuning. So that's what I stuck with during my listening time. And you also get a little card. Not sure if you can see that. Has some contact info on there, the website and email, and there's some nerd stuff on here. Let's go ahead and go through this real quick. So Rikubud Saber 3 shell is the RG39-1. So that's his custom shell, and it has laid a great foundation for anything that he ends up working on after Gen 3, well, Gen 3 and beyond. I love this shell. It is a great shell, and anything that I feel like is built upon that shell is just going to be amazing. I love it. So the driver is a 15.4 millimeter PET surrounded and LCP dome composite diaphragm. I don't know if you guys understand this stuff. I don't understand any of this. PETA 64 ohms, sensitivity is 107 decibels per milliwatt, and then 2020 frequency response. Whatever, nerd stuff out of the way. So Rikubud Saber 3, overall I would consider it kind of like an L shape. It has a lot of focus on the sub bass, and yes, you get sub bass out of these. That you get a good amount of sub bass. So yeah, these are priced the same as the last set that we reviewed by him, which was Alter Rider 3, which rip, Sonny got a hold of them, so I can't use them anymore. I really like that set, but I like this set more than the Alter Rider 3. And we'll get into the details of that. So Saber 3, 100 euros plus some euros for shipping. Usually it's like 10 euros or something like that. Now, going over the build of the Rikubuds Saber 3, you heard me already rave about the shell design itself. It's very comfortable and it fits very nice. It's the only buds I use outside unless there's something else I'm testing, but any flathead is usually at my desk or on the couch or whatever. Riku's RG39 shell is the only one that I feel comfortable with outdoors because it fits very well, and it feels the most secure out of any other type of flathead shell I've tried, other than the Q39, which I believe this shell is based on that one. So it's an iteration of it. It's pretty similar. So overall build the same as Alter Rider 3. It's solid, cable's pretty light. There's no chin slider, which I know some people would like to have that, since the splitter is actually kind of far down on the cable. You have a variety of options on the shell colors, and you can pretty much pick and choose what you want to do. You want to do both the same color, cool. You want to do one color and the other one a different color, go for it. You can choose the cable color. The cable is pretty good as well. Overall build is what it's expected here. It's not anything amazing or very premium, but it doesn't feel cheap. It feels well built, and I didn't notice any type of imperfections or glue residue or anything. It was built well. As far as the sound goes, so like I mentioned before, sub bass focused, L-shaped overall tuning. So starting with the bass itself, there's a good amount of sub bass, and you get a good amount of sub bass on these. It's probably due to the fit. I get a very good fit with this shell, and it helps the extension. So bass doesn't roll off as drastically as other buds. And there's a good amount of it too to make up for any type of roll off you might experience. So bass is full. It's good impact. Impact is moderate. It's not amazing, but it's there. It's pretty good. The sub bass rumble is actually pretty great for an earbud. It's actually really good. You get a good amount of it. There's a lot of quantity there. Quality is okay. It feels somewhat visceral. I mean, as much as you can get as far as Flathead goes. And these overall would be considered probably warm neutral. So there's a good amount of mid bass as well. Good note weight, gives a full bodied feeling to a lot of instruments, a lot of vocals. There's a good richness and resonance in the mids because of it, which is something I really enjoy, especially with like orchestral, instrumental stuff. I've been listening to a lot of Destiny 2 soundtrack and Star Wars soundtrack with these, and it's great. I love it. Making your way through the mids, pretty neutral there. Going into the upper mids, there's a little bit of forward presence on female vocals, so they do come off as a little bit more intimate. They are a little bit more forward, but not a lot. And at that point, once you start making your way into the mid treble and the treble itself, it actually gets kind of dark. There's decent extension, so it's not like it's completely gone, but it is rolling off at that point. So again, it's just not enough quantity, at least for me. So overall, that gives it a more dark signature. It's neutral-ish, but closer to the dark side. And what that does is takes away some of the bite on some instruments like trumpets or any type of horns. Overall, vocals as well, like there's good body on the vocals, but especially like female vocals, they lose that intensity, that sparkle, that wispiness that I really like. While they're full bodied, it just makes them I guess a little husky, especially compared to the other set that we're gonna compare these to. So these are overall, again, very rich sounding, full, but give you more of a mellow approach. So non-fatiguing, and they do a good job of being musical without, being too in your face about it. For me personally though, I do end up missing a little bit more intensity, a little bit more air, but some sets that have that end up being fatiguing. No fatigue here. Good bass, you feel it. So good thump, good rumble, and you still get the rest of the sound signature. It's just more mellow approach, more laid back, while still having a little bit of forwardness for female vocals. So as far as the techs go, let's start with soundstage. Well, actually timbre. Timbre is pretty good. It is missing just a little bit of that clarity to add more definition. So sometimes it feels like you're getting the lower end of some sounds and not enough of the upper end of those sounds. Again, overall dark presentation, and that's what does that. So again, timbre's still good, just some things might sound a little bit less airy, I guess. Separation is actually pretty good as well, and along with the imaging. The thing is though, there is a little bit of lack of definement in the sounds. It's less concise, and I believe that might be because of the missing treble, or not missing, just a lower treble. So some things, well, just the sound signature overall, a lot of the sounds are kind of soft. Their outlines are not as defined, a little bit, I wouldn't say fuzzy or blurry, because you still get the full sound, you get the full cues, positioning, everything's there. It's just not as aggressive and well defined. So it gives it more of a softer sound. It's a little bit of a softer approach, which is it's nice. It really is in some stuff, but I find it lackluster for more high intensity music. So like my K-pop or any type of pop, any type of modern upbeat stuff, feels like it's missing just a little bit of that extra bite and definition. But any type of acoustic or natural stuff, even like ballads with like a lot of strings or piano and just focus on vocals, were pretty nice here, because it gives it that rich full sound without it being too piercing or harsh. And while again it does have decent dynamics and good stage, the stage is wide, about average for a Flathead, but it also ends up being pretty deep, so there's a lot of good depth to the stage, while you're getting a lot of sound cues moving up or down, forward and back. There's a good amount of dynamics there as well, so it just gives it a lot of 3D type of a presentation. Even though it's not huge in width, it is plenty deep. So yeah, that's it. Saber 3, the set I compared this the most to, which is basically a benchmark for me with Flatheads, especially anything under like $200, was the Alpha 3s by Dunu. So I know it's a little unfair because this is a commercial bud compared to, you know, DIY bud, but this is very easily accessible and reasonable in price, so that's why I chose the Alpha 3 to compare. Starting with the build, Alpha 3, it just wins everything. The cable just feels a little bit sturdier, connectors, splitter feels a little bit sturdier, the shells themselves, the buds just have a good amount of heft to them. Build is very solid. Fit still goes to the Rikubuds because it's really hard to beat them on that. Overall sound, so this is where they started trading blows. Basically, the Alpha 3s are brighter, so overall the tilt gives it a little bit less warmth. So female vocals are pretty intense, pretty forward. Treble is, especially mid treble, is a little bit elevated more. Overall it has less extension on either end, so you get a lot of just that mid intensity, and then treble rolls off, and then sub bass rolls off, so it doesn't come out as well balanced as the Rikubuds. Rikubuds are better balanced in that regard, and you get more of the full spectrum instead of just more emphasis on some parts, so it makes it a more tolerable listen and more well-rounded for, you know, more genres. So overall Alpha 3 is still good, probably great, and it's gonna stay that way until another big brand comes and tries to challenge the Alpha 3. But as far as DIY buds go, Rikubud Saber 3, it's a solid option, and like I mentioned before, I like it more than the Ultra Rider 3, Rip Ultra Rider 3, Sonny You're a Jerk, and I Hate You. But it's not, for me at least, like a main bud. I enjoy it more for specific genres, like I mentioned, you know, like a lot of the orchestral stuff, acoustic stuff, live stuff. It's just really nice there. Anything else like K-pop, it does have a lot of focus on the bass, which the Saber 3 plays very well. It's just missing some of that intensity on the upper end for me. I actually have another bud that reminds me a little bit of the Saber 3. It's a little bit more expensive, but we're going to be reviewing that really soon, so make sure that you like and subscribe so that you don't miss out on that review. Patreons, thank you so much for keeping the channel running. If any of you guys end up being interested in checking out Riku's stuff, I'll leave a link in the description for you guys. That way you guys can check that out. Unaffiliated, it's just makes it easier for you to get to him. I mean, if you just Google Rikubuds, it's like the first thing that pops up. But he has 2 Generation 3 earbuds out. His Generation 1 Lancer, I'm not sure if he's still selling it, but that's still such a great entry level option. $50, and it's like a variations that it's only $50. If you haven't seen that video for that one, I'll also link it in the description. And I guess that's it. If you have any questions, comments, criticism, anything, put it in the comments, you know, let me know. If you liked the video, let me know. If you hated the video, let me know. If you like Sunny, I mean, everybody likes Sunny, but if you hate me, let me know too. I want to hear from you guys. But that's it. Until next time, I am Awesome Danny, and you stay awesome, friends. Bye.